Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio, and I know I showed you a bunch of really cool news yesterday, but I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some cool new news reveals today. We've got some new products we need to be talking about. So let's have a gander, shall we? Now, the news today is a mixture of the lovely Matthew Arrive Immunity over on Twitter and the lovely Primal Lugia. Those dudes are awesome. You should be following them by now. So, let's start off having a little bit of a look at a brand new Battle Arena deck, Rayquaza GX versus Ultra Necrozma GX. Mighty Pokemon battle for victory. And the blurb reads like this: powerful Pokemon are ready to heat up the battlefield in the new Pokemon TCG Battle Arena decks. These 60-card decks are ready to play right away, with powerful cards and winning strategies worthy of an ace trainer. Each deck is led by an exceptional legendary Pokemon GX and includes 9 foil cards. Let the battle begin. So in each 60-card deck, you will find 2 foil cards featuring a legendary Pokemon GX. For anyone keeping score, that means you get 2 of each of the GXs, 1 foil Prism Star card, 6 foil basic energy cards, and tournament level trainer cards including Cynthia, Erica's Hospitality, and more. And you get a special supporter card with all new art. Everything about that sounds absolutely amazing. First of all, you're getting really good supporter cards. Cynthia's, Erica's Hospitality. Look, I know that Cynthia was in theme decks, and I know that Erica's Hospitality was in pre-release kits, but these are still phenomenal cards that see a huge amount of play. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, we kind of need these. Not everybody, I'm sure a bunch of players don't need them, but a bunch of players do need them. And we want this game to be as easy as possible for new people to pick up and go and have a play with. So the idea of having these cards is brilliant. The idea of being able to go and buy these decks and instantly get the supporter cards we want is great. And even if you're buying cards as singles, this is going to bring down the price of those singles. This is just awesome. The fact that you get 2 of the GXs means that it is so much easier to actually go and build a competitive deck. And the fact that they've chosen Ultra Necrozma and Rayquaza is brilliant. Rayquaza is a phenomenal card. Now, when Rayquaza was first released, it saw play in speed decks with stuff like Max Elixir. More recently, it's seen play with Vikavolt. But the fact of the matter is, it's got an ability that can accelerate energy to itself, and a GX attack which is pretty good for consistency, and then a main attack for 1 grass, 1 lightning, 1 colorless, 30 damage for each basic grass and lightning energy attached to all of your Pokemon. Then, of course, recently we got Tapu Koko Prism Star to accelerate 2 lightning energy, and Shaymin Prism Star to, it's basically got the same attack, but for 2 grass rather than a grass lightning colorless. And then Ultra Necrozma is one of the best decks in the format when combined with Malamar. Now, maybe this doesn't have Malamar in, that's not really the point. The point is that you're going to be able to go and buy a deck with 2 copies of a really phenomenally good GX Pokemon in. That alone is pretty gosh darned awesome. Now, you are going to get a Prism Star in each of the decks. We don't know what they're going to be. Certainly in the Rayquaza deck, I think Tapu Koko and Shaymin are probably the best choices. In terms of Ultra Necrozma, I'm not entirely sure. Lance is a Dragon Prism Star supporter, but it just gets them out of your deck. It's really good for stage 2s, and this is a basic. Nothing really springs to mind in terms of a Prism Star card that has to be played with Ultra Necrozma, but the fact that they're giving you Prism Star cards is pretty good. 6 basic foil energy, everybody loves foil energy, and all new art supporter card? That's awesome. We did see these very briefly with the old battle decks, which we got a couple of them and then one got cancelled, etc. We saw like an alternate art Professor Sycamore, for instance. And these will be alternate art, but even so, Like, everything about this is great. And then there's a bunch of other stuff. Metallic coin, playmat and rule sheet, code card, deck box, damage counters, quick guide. That's not really the point. The point is here that these decks look amazing. 2 GXs, Prism Star, Foil Energy, good supporter cards, alternate art supporter. These are brilliant. Oh, and they're being released on the 4th of October, which incidentally I believe is the exact same date as the Hidden Fates products I told you about yesterday. Now, as well as these, we have got images of the tins which are coming out. And look, we knew these tins were coming out. I showed you these tins in a previous video. According to Total Cards, they are due for release on the 6th of September of this year. And there was always a question. Now, we knew they had Raichu, Charizard, and Gyarados. But we've had Raichu, Charizard, and Gyarados GXs. But over in Japan, we had these family GXs, which were supposed to be simpler and easier to get your head around. Nice, simple GXs to help people learn the game. And they are incredibly straightforward. I did a video about all of them. I'll drop a link to that one in the description. We didn't know which ones they were. And not only that, but now we've got images of the tins. Yeah, the tins are alternate art. So if we look at the 2 Gyarados GXs next to the tin, looking at the artwork, we can't figure out which one is which. The good news is the Gyarados from Burning Shadows has 240 HP, whereas the Family Gyarados GX has 230 HP, which means it must be either a new Gyarados GX, which makes literally no sense, or the Family Gyarados GX. They're called Family because they were in these family boxes that, like I've said, were designed to be nice and easy to get to grips with, learn the game, etc. So, we know that we're getting the family versions of these. Now look, these are not going to make the tins particularly sought after. And I know that sounds a little bit sad, but the fact of the matter is these are not particularly great cards. These are not GXs you're going to be running out to build a deck with. Now, the Gyarados can do 240 for 4 energy as your GX attack, and with Naganadel and Quagsire to accelerate the energy, there's an argument, I suppose. Raichu, 200 as a GX, it's just pretty bad, to be honest with you. I mean, look, you can use stuff like Electro Power, which is lovely, but you can also use stuff like Jolteon GX, which is just better. And again, Charizard GX just doesn't fill us with that much joy, if I'm honest with you. I do love that you can do 300 damage with the GX attack, and to be fair, it's for 4 energy, and you've got stuff like Welder and Kiawe, although Kiawe will be rotating out of standard right before this is released, like 2 or 3 weeks before. But then again, the one from Burning Shadows can do 300 for 5 energy, and it's not a GX attack. I love that we're getting these tins, but I don't think you should be terribly excited about making decks with them. Of course, there were 3 other GXs that came in this family set over in Japan. There's Mewtwo GX, and then there's Wigglytuff and Pinsir GX, and of course they are the only Wigglytuff and Pinsir GXs we've had so far. No word so far on exactly how we're going to be getting them, but they're going to be in Hidden Fates. I was chatting to Primal Lugia about this, and he said the exact same thing. It doesn't make sense to put them in any other product. There's nowhere else they can really go, if that makes any sense. There's not really any other destination for them. They've basically got to be in Hidden Fates, or we're not getting them. And why would they give us 3 and not the other 3? I'm just not buying that. Now, the last piece of news we've got this week is we've got images of the next Tag Team GX tins, and we always knew what they were going to be. We knew we were getting Mewtwo and Mew, Lucario and Melmetal, and Giratina and Garchomp. Garchomp and Giratina, as I believe it's actually called. And these are all cool, and we knew we were getting them. I showed them in a previous video, and we knew that we were getting these artworks. I showed you these in previous videos. But it's nice that we've now got the confirmation and the artwork. Garchomp and Giratina is being a really good deck over in Japan, used with Malamar to just hit huge damage. Mewtwo and Mew is a great tag team GX, which, I mean, you can copy the attacks of any GX in your discard pile or on your bench. I'm a huge fan. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And Lucario and Melmetal, seeing a little bit of play here and there. It's not quite so good. But the thing to remember here is that this is going to be a staple in every metal deck until it gets rotated, because the GX attack on a basic for 1 colourless energy reduces damage done to all of your metal Pokemon by 30 for the remainder of the game. Yeah, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be seeing a lot more of this as we go along. So there we go, lots of good news this week, lots of fun things to talk about. We just literally did a news video yesterday, and then there was a whole bunch of news today, so we had to do another one. Frankly, I'm excited about all of it, but I'd like to know how you feel. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about games that don't even have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.